There we go. I'm not hearing double my voice, and my microphone is somewhat attached to me. Fantastic. And we have music now. Quite dramatic music right now, but hopefully it's not too loud based on everything else. I might turn it down a little bit so that it's like, I don't know. I don't know how loud it is for everyone. Hopefully it's like just small, chilled, dramatic background music so I don't feel like I'm completely alone. But yeah, yesterday I got started with this little app of mine where I was building like a personal portfolio, because I always tell people they should do that and then they never do. And then I figured, let's build my own. But instead of like, I don't know, linking to things, well, I will link to things, like link to my Stack Overflow and GitHub and stuff, and YouTube as well. But like, instead of just being like, here's a link to that, I thought it'd be cool to actually build it like as a NextJS application and like implement some NextJS APIs. So, and I was looking at the Stack Overflow, like their APIs, what they support. And there are a bunch of things, like I wanted to get my account details, like my age and reputation and all that stuff, which that is there under the user's API. But what isn't there is your actual sum of people that you've impacted through like questions and answers. So I thought what I could do is I could fetch all of my questions and all of my answers and actually aggregate that data. And then I can cache it as well on the next side. So I'm not using up crazy amounts of queries to do that. I thought that would be a really good way to, I don't know, showcase data like that. It is on the Stack Overflow site. If I go to like Stack Overflow, you can go here and like you can see stuff like your impact. You've reached 2.1 million people roundabout, you know. Posts edited, helpful flags, votes cast. I don't think I have all of that in the API, but I will be able to, well, maybe I can count votes cast to, like, I could count votes. I'll have to look at the APIs again, but at least I wrote down like some to-dos in here. So that's my thoughts there. But first of all, I actually want to check what's the way for doing API calls in Next 13, because I always used to do it in prior versions to Next.js. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? I'm playing with Next 13, which you're very familiar with, so I'm glad you're here and looking forward to hanging out and chatting. Since basically both my wife and I are sick, so well, we've been sick-ish, not super sick, but we're getting better. But let's look at the Next.js docs and actually go to like their ways of doing APIs. And I need to make sure that I'm looking at like the Next.js 13 stuff, because yeah, that would be bad. Data fetching, okay, fetching, caching, and revalidating. Awesome. It's awesome to have you here, man. So data fetching is a core part of any application, as we know. I built a lot of apps where you don't do data fetching, and they're much easier to build. But I mean, once you bring in data fetching, it's like, oh, you got to think like, is someone else hosting the data that you're fetching from? Are they hosting that server and supplying the API, or do you have to build that yourself? And then it's just like a mission. I mean, obviously with Next.js, if you are using like someone's external API and you're just kind of proxying through Next.js, it's quite easy to just, you know, deploy your app on Vercel and that proxy will work fine. So that's one of the benefits here. And since most of my portfolio stuff is going to be like fetching stuff like information from Stack Overflow and from GitHub and from YouTube, I don't need to build my own like servers. I can just use my Next API, and yeah, these various things, I do have quotas to them. So I'm hoping that like somehow on my next server I can cache these things, or at least client side like cache these things, because the information is not going to change regularly. So I can like cache it for like a day before we get more data. So that should at least, you know, solve hitting any of these quota issues. Anyways, there are 4 ways you can fetch data: on the server with fetch, on the server with third-party libraries, on the client with a root handler, on the client with third-party libraries. Okay, well, let's look at those various ways. So yeah, Next.js extends the native fetch API. By the way, there's a new thing called Bun that came out, and I was looking at potentially moving this project over to using Bun, but it looks like the only thing that bun gets used in Next.js is to actually create the project. After that, they switch back to like the Node.js, like running it like the dev servers. So it's not quite there yet. Like, although they've released 1.0, it's not worth like taking on here right now. I might use it in some of my work projects because some of my like build steps do take forever, and considering we're using mono repos there, we could probably start using bun for some things and not everything at once, and that would be a cool way to test things. That's the perks of mono repos, just by the way. Very useful stuff. Anyways, yeah, fetching data allows you to compare caching and revalidating behavior for each fetch request on the server. That's kind of what I want. I would like to have like a caching server side so that we're not using those quotas up. React extends fetch to automatically memorize each fetch request for rendering the React tree, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So they do like a get data thing. Is this a built-in thing? You can use fetch async await server components, because I'm not used to server-side rendering, to be honest. So I want to get really like into that and actually using it so that I fully understand it and not just, you know, messing around. Like I'm so used to client-side fetching. It's just what I always do. And I use React library. What do I use? I use React query for managing my caching and fetching and all that stuff. So there's like a uniform way of handling things, which has been great. I highly recommend using React query, but it might not be necessary with the server-side rendering that we're going to do now. So yeah. Anyways. Caching stores data. I know what caching is. Force cache default can be omitted. Revalidating data, that's just purging cache data. It's saying like, oh, the cache isn't validated, like it's not up to date, so we should purge it and fetch. So you get time-based and on-demand. So time-based, you just say, okay, we're gonna like stop caching it, you know, after a day or after an hour or however. It really depends what data you're working with. You can set that time-based revalidation. On demand is like, oh, I've updated a value in my database, so I should invalidate the cache for fetching that data because that data I expect to have changed. Sometimes you can do a combination of both. But yeah, see that revalidates is like 3,600 seconds, which is like an hour. This song is just not inspiring to me. What is happening? It's too depressing, too sad. Let's do something a bit more epic. You know, we're in a zone of epic things. There we go. I've changed it. It's all good. Fancy things are happening. What am I doing? Why is my burner account not watching my own video? Sadness, right? Yeah, okay, it's all good. Anyways. So there's on-demand revalidation. Yeah, I've just spoken about that. Revalidate path, okay. So that will just validate everything in the path. I don't really care about this opting out data caching. I'm not too phased about that just yet. I'd rather know about the data fetching patterns. Let's focus on those. So fetching data on the server, whenever possible, we recommend. So they recommend fetching data on the server with Next.js. So we're going to go with that too. Yeah. So it allows me to have direct access to backend data resources like databases. You can't do that client side because that would require you to expose information that you don't want your users to have. And that makes your app very hackable. So doing things server side it's a lot more secure. Okay, I've just said that now. I didn't even read this part, but I've just said that. So yeah, fetching data render in the same environment. So this is where the server-side rendering stuff comes in, where you actually tell the server to tell the client what to render. Instead of making like a data-driven client-side, you just like spit it out on the page, which breaks my mind a bit because I've been doing like, you know, client-side React development for like the past, what year is it? 9 years. I think I started working with React early 2015. So, I mean, that was before we had hooks, before like functional components were really a thing. Like, yeah, it's quite crazy. Anyways, so performing multiple data fetches for single round trips instead of multiple individual requests. Yes, that's much better. So sometimes you need to aggregate different data, which we actually have to do here. In my little project here, I need to fetch this information and this information and this information. So what I can do is fetch it all server side, and then there's just one API request to get my Stack Overflow information for the client side. So that's the purpose of that. There's great usages to that. You can fetch data on server using server components, route handlers, and server actions. See, this is what I'm not too familiar with. Yeah, if you need to use the same data as your current user and multiple components in a tree, you do not have to fetch data globally nor forward props between components. Instead, you can use fetch or React cache in the component that needs the data without worrying about the performance implications. Yeah, that's like perks of React in general. Like, it's basically like context fetching. Yeah, I feel like that kind of data, I don't know, under the hood it would probably work. Like, there's a context system where it knows you're busy fetching that require. I've built this manually before in a client-side application. I've never done it like, what was I gonna say? Like, I've never used next version of this. Okay, and then streaming. We're not gonna use streaming yet, but that would be cool to know that we can do streaming and like, yeah. You just like load data in as you need it. That's pretty cool. Right, all these little patterns. I just want like a little tutorial of like how, like what's the process to use. So we have this get artist. We await that. This is so weird. I guess this just works, right? Because the page is your server component. So it's not a client-side component. I mean, like in my app, here, like the only client-side component is the, where is it even? I don't even know where I put it. Like the Stack Overflow thing, right? This is, oh, this isn't even client-side. Do I have, wait, I have a use client in here somewhere. Let me check. Use client. It's my little random thing there. It's in my navigation. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're not going to use fetching there anyway, so that should be fine. So I'm happy for that to be a client-side thing. The reason we have used client there is for this path name stuff, so that we can actually see like what is rendered, like what route we're on. So if we go to my story, it actually stays there, and contact me, it actually stays there. If we were to, it's literally just these two components that are in here. Like it's checking the path name, which is using a client-side hook. So that's why it's not server-side, and that's fine. So that little, this little area over here, like where my cursor is, that's where the magic's happening. Anyways, back to our data fetching patterns. So it looks like I can just call like a promise, right? Like getting, okay, so you can use loading.js for route segments, or so you can have just your route is loading kind of vibe. Suspense wall. Okay, so it's just suspense. So we just use suspense, and that shows that we're loading a segment. Okay, interesting. That's nice. Parallel data fetching. I'm just thinking. So these are all various little fetchy things. So I can just have a function where we fetch stuff, and like this get artist is just, it's a fetch. It's straight up just a normal fetch. So technically I could fetch all my, if I had a Stack Overflow section, so on my home page, which is like here, there's a Stack Overflow fetch section. I'm going to make like I want to make like a section kind of thing. I don't know if I should put like this page section, that's a component that's going to be reused around the project, but I don't know if I should put like a logic thing somewhere else, like just saying like a sections. It just feels weird. Like, okay, let's do it all here, and we'll like lay it out differently some other time. But effectively what I want to have is a function, or an asynchronous function, where we get Stack Overflow data. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of right. And our response is going to be await. And that's that. And now theoretically, we're able to await this get Stack Overflow data. Wait, how does this pattern work? Async function. Okay, we say const that equals that. This is parallel data fetching. This is what we want to do. We do want to fetch all of the information. Yeah. So we're going to say we're going to fetch this Stack Overflow user first, which this is me as a user. Let's say fetch Stack Overflow account. Cool. And then we'll have a, I mean, this is just going to be a return. We'll return the response.json, right? That's good. And now we'll have another async function for get Stack Overflow questions, right? Like, I just want to see it working in action first before I really move everything around. Like intense battle music, getting me in the zone for this. And then finally we have the getting the answers, which again, GitHub Copilot's been pretty good at answering all my questions here. So this, I need to set a result. Like I need to say const accounts data equals await. Oh, you have to make the page asynchronous. So that's how that async stuff works. In fact, I don't even need to await here. I await the promise of everything. So that's what we do. So we say get Stack Overflow data, get the account, and then questions data, and then answers data, and then we actually say, yeah, we can say const account questions answers, and we're going to do a promise all here. So promise all, essentially what this does, takes an array of promises. Each of these are promises, so they have that like we're still busy fetching kind of vibe going on. And what effectively happens is when you are fetching these things, they'll all start at the same time, and they might take different lengths of time to finish, but it just waits for every one of them to finish. So instead of you starting to fetch the one, then waiting till it finishes, and then starting to fetch the next one and waiting till it finishes to fetch the next one, you start them all in parallel. So you start like all three, and then this one might finish first, and then this one also might finish like, well, let's say last, and the third one you set up might finish second. Like it just waits until all of them have been resolved, which is really nice. And it will return you the responses in the same order that you post them in here. So theoretically, the first information, account data, second question data, third answers data, those are the first three values of the promises we put in here, and those will be the first three that we just structure from the response. Like it returns back to an array of responses. That's what it does. And I'm just using some fancy syntax to get all that information. So now we should be able to, I'm going to write a suspense in here, and then we'll do a fallback, say it's like loading or something. This will just be a div that says loading. So this is kind of our we're busy fetching state, and it waits for the data to become available. And then I'm just going to literally make 3 of these. I'm going to say account. I just want to check that this works, and we're going to JSON stringify it. JSON.stringify the account. And let's do the same for the questions and the answers. Copilot knows what we're doing. I forgot to use await. We need to wait for the promise to finish before we can get those values. So we don't await these. If we awaited each of these, if we said await here, it would wait for the function to happen, give us a response, and then do that. But the reason we just define the promises here, then we trigger them all at the same time in promise.all, and we wait for them to finish, and that's how we get these results and these responses. So useful stuff. handy little things, especially like sometimes in work cases. It's unusual if you're just a front-end dev. Usually your like back-end devs who are making the APIs will give you one API, and on the server side they'll go fetch everything that you need. But because this is theoretically a server side, like it's a server side rendered stuff, the user server side rendering, we're doing that here and we're aggregating the data here. But you know, the client shouldn't have access to that data, which is useful. Because we're not using use client at the top here. We only use client one place in our app, and that's not doing API calls. So yeah, that's a useful little thing. Let's see if it actually worked in our little project. Yeah, it did. Wait, what is going on? What just happened? I didn't mean to go here. Actually, oh, that's what I did. I'm trying to click on my screen, and that's a bug. This should not be taking up the whole line. I'm gonna inspect this and see. Yeah, that should have like a width of bit content. Yeah, no. What? I just want to check this. Let's do the width up here. Do max width. Bit content. How about that? Okay. That's not working as I expected it to. This image has got a max width of 100. That's a problem. I need to do some things here. I don't know what's causing that to take up the full width. Yeah, but that's a bug. Styling bug. We found a bug just through our imminent testing. Okay, I have a lot of information. I can actually clean this up. I think if I go through all of these, if I do -null and -2, it should, let's refresh. I think it was supposed to format, but it didn't. Doesn't look like it actually worked. Well, that's unfortunate. Either way, I actually mostly just wanted to check that this worked, and that's cool that it does. I'm going to console log them because they're actually easier to look at in the console. To just check it out that way. So that went quicker than I expected. There is going to be some additional stuff I want to do, like aggregate a lot of this data. So we've got the fetching done here. I'm going to get rid of that stuff. This flare though, this flare is annoying me. The fact that it is just like a full section thing. So let me open this up here. This link, I wish I could just give it like a max. You know what? I'm lazy. I'm gonna ChatGPT it. Let me just quickly open ChatGPT in another window. I'm posting this component that we have in here. Like I'm gonna post it here, and what we're gonna do is, geez, this music's intense. I'm gonna say this link is taking up the full width, and I just want it to take up the width of the image it is containing. Because I don't feel like messing around. ChatGPT for the win. I agree, my beautiful wife. Like it's the way. Like I'm just being lazy. You can't see me typing it in. I've got ChatGPT open on another window. But okay, it's telling me to give it the style inline block. Okay, cool. So I can do that. I wonder if there's a Tailwind solution. Is there a Tailwind solution for this? Because we are using Tailwind now. I'm sure there's that. So give me a Tailwind solution. We can give it like a cheeky little class name here. Just, it's probably gonna be like inline or something. Inline block, that's what we call it. Inline block. Okay, cool. Let's see if that worked. Yes, now I can click next to my thing without like it occupying that. Well, that's nice. So yeah, I've got this big load of text. It's not that useful for me. I wanted to show, I want to say something like, I've been a, I gotta use a little apostrophe thingy here, don't I? Yeah. Fancy little things, ESLint, you know. I've been a member of Stack Overflow, an active member. I've always used Stack Overflow. I'm trying to get my stupid badge, you know, like that. I've been trying to get this badge forever. Let me show you. I can just click on this link. My Fanatic badge, which you can only get if you visit the site like 100 consecutive days. I'm on 32 days, and I almost forgot yesterday. And then yesterday I checked like an hour before midnight. I was like, oh, I gotta log in. So I did. So I'm trying to get that badge. I think I've been up to like 50 days or something, and I've like failed. So yeah, but like I visited the site many years, you know. I think I can move that in there. I don't know if that's possible to show that, to show that I have visited it. Stack Overflow 4, and now I'm going to say account details. Well, account dot, I don't have TypeScript for this. I wonder if they are typed, like ways to do types for that account data. Is there a way to like, you know what, I'm going to ChatGPT this too. I'm actually going to ChatGPT this as well. To infer fetched types for this data. I wonder if there's like go-to ways for inferring types like this. They just want me. ChatGPT just says create an interface, which I would have done. ChatGPT doesn't even realize that this is a server function. That's a bit annoying. What if I just gave it the response? Let me do that. So I'm copying this, and I'm going to like type it into like my browser. It should give me, yeah, it gives me a full like thing. So I'm gonna raw copy this. I'm gonna put that in ChatGPT. Could you write me an interface for this data? There we go. And then on my side, inside my source, I'm gonna write some types. Types. And I will make APIs. APIs. Yes, APIs. That's what I'm gonna call it. And I'm gonna make one for Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow APIs. And we're gonna chuck all of our Stack Overflow APIs into here. I mean, they're gonna be nice and simple, but this is like my starting way of making whatever we're doing a bit neater. Move all of those into here, and I need to export all of them. So exporting every little file. Let me just Control D to select multiple things at once. And now on this side, I can just Control space, or yeah, Control space to see where these come from, and I can add them in by doing that. And there they are. And because I've pretty set up, everything is nicely formatted and it's all good to go. Nice. So we got a good start there. I think. Oh, right. Now let's go back to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT gave me these Stack Overflow data, user. Okay. I think, yeah, so the Stack Overflow data is good. I'm going to do a Stack Overflow. So, sorry, you can't see this. I'm going to copy this all. So my types in here, I'm also going to have like a Stack Overflow types. So this is types for my data. Maybe I should actually, you know what, I'm going to keep my types like close to my information over here. So we'll have Stack Overflow.ts. Let's do a .git keep here just so that my folder structure looks pretty, and I know, like, you know, we might do something else like GitHub or something. No, I use the GitHub like brand thing. Anyways, so instead of having a types folder, I'm gonna have like a types inside Stack Overflow. There we go. And I'll put all my types in here. So these are all my types. I'm going to export them all. So Stack Overflow user, badges count, yeah, user collective. I don't even think I need to export all these other ones yet. I might not even do that. I'll just export the top one, like the user and the Stack Overflow data. So what I want to do is make this Stack Overflow data a generic type. Instead of returning a list of Stack Overflow user items, I'm going to return a list of generic types. So that means, why is this not working? Oh, it's just got to be T. Sorry, like that. That means in here, like in this little Stack Overflow flare thing, I can say that this returns a promise of Stack Overflow data, but of the Stack Overflow user type. Nice. And that should be correct. So now this response, like, that promises any, but like when I go look at my page, this data would theoretically be a Stack Overflow user. Yes. Okay, fantastic. So now we can say account dot items. It should be at 0. There should only be one user fetched. That's what this thing is. So this should, to get my own account, I need to await this response. Const data equals await the response. And then what I actually want to return is the data dot items at 0. So it won't even be a Stack Overflow data, it will be Stack Overflow user like that. And this will be a Stack Overflow data, Stack Overflow unit, like user. Because that's what we expect. We expect to get this data. This data has that extra information, like if it has more quota, max remaining, blah, 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 blah. And then the user is there. So now we actually are fetching the specific account. So this account, well, it could also be undefined. It could not find the data. So I guess we could say undefined. In case that's not found. I would assume I'd have to do like a data and like type safes, these kinds of things. There should always be items. If data is returned, there will always be items, even if it's empty. And then, you know, if items at 0 will just be undefined. It's if you try to get like items of undefined where it's an issue. This could be undefined. Cool. So that's my types there. So now I don't have to do the dot items thing anymore. I can just do account dot creation date. And I'm gonna, like, that's not gonna be clean at all. I'm gonna probably have to use date functions to get a pretty date for that. I just wanted to check now, what's the other account stuff I have in this object? Because that might be useful. No. Because accept rate doesn't matter. Badge count is nice, but they can see my badge count in the flare, so there's no need to show the badge count. Unless I build my own flare, because I don't like the look of that flare anyway. Yeah, I could just have a section that says badges and show the actual badge counts, and they can be my own little circles. Like, I want to make my own flare. That would be cool. I think that would be quite nice. So, because I don't actually like the flare, I just don't think it looks good. And then I can put like my profile picture somewhere else. and I can make a link to it, like, you know, like an actual stack, like it could be a link. That would be cool. Or actually have like a link to view my full profile here, like a full profile, Stack Overflow profile button. That would be nice. I'll get my wife to design pretty things for this. So profile image doesn't matter. Reputation is going to be useful. The link. What is the link? So I'm gonna like put these things in p tags for the things that I think might be useful. Badge counts, that might be interesting. Okay, let's JSON.stringify that one. Even though we are like stringifying like everything. I'm like, we're getting there. What other account details do I want? I want account dot, I'm gonna have to have like an account not found thing as well, and error handling and things like that, but yeah. The link, I want to see what that is. Reputation. I think the reputation would be cool, like the actual, all the reputation changes. Account reputation, and then the changes like over the last day, week, year, day, reputation change, month, reputation change, quarter, and we can maybe put this in the table. All this data visualization stuff. This is all like just thinking about what we can do to add to our account. And then what other stuff in my account can I take, like keep a hold of? We'll worry about the questions and answers later. Like that's a later problem. I'm not an employee, that doesn't matter, and I know that. Profile image, reputation, user ID, user type, website URL. They should be on my website URL if they're viewing this. Last access date. That would be cool. Because I always visit it. And was last seen there on this day. Yeah. Thinking display name. My display name is just Barry Michael Doyle. So the collectives, I don't feel like it really matters too much. I don't think it's an impressive thing to show because there's no like React collectives or something that I'm actually like really good at. So location, they'll know anyway. Best. Last modified date. Yeah. Okay, let's see what this looks like. So if we go back to my site, I've been an active member of Stack Overflow for this many uni seconds. Let's ask ChatGPT. I'm lazy. How can I update this? The Unix time, I want to say how many years and months I've been a member for. For me, I can just say that years and months because it's always going to be years and months. Like in 20 years from now, it's still going to be 20 years and 6 months. For other people who use this, they might want to say like months and days, but I think years and months is kind of, I think it's going to work for most people. So that's kind of cool. Oop, I dropped my phone. What was I saying? I'm still in a group. My family's like, yo, why are you still in a group? Are you planning on moving to the UK or are you not? What am I doing? Okay, so I have a function for calculating years and months from Unix timestamps. But let me keep that because we can put it in a special folder here called utils. Come on. I might even want to write like unit tests for this. So because I'm going to write unit tests, I'm going to put it in a folder. What was I going to call it? Should I call it get years and months from, yeah, let's call it get years and months from Unix. Months from Unix. That's nice and specific. Like nobody's going to get confused by that. I think that makes sense. So we'll call it get years and months from Unix. This might be a good example for me to actually show off unit testing and getting that included as well. But effectively, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say function get years and months from Unix. This is going to take in a Unix timestamp. I'm going to call it get years and months from timestamp. Nah, Unix is better, I guess. Unix timestamp. So that will be, I don't know why I say stamp E. That's a number that we'll take in, and it should return a string. So const date. Or like, yeah, that'll be the new date from here. And then const current date. Let's call it input date. I said date there for some reason. Input date. There we go. So you have the input date, and the other date will be like new date now, today. I'm going to say let years equal current date dot get full year minus input date dot get full year, because that just will calculate our years. Sorry, I said years equals. So there's that. I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm copying ChatGPT, to be honest. That should be a const. Not going to change. And then months. Months will just be the current month minus input date dot get month. Now again, I mentioned like this is just getting years and months from Unix. If people were to like have started recently, they might want to say months and days instead of like years and months. But because for me, over the next 50 years, it's not going to change. It's still going to be 50 years. Or in 50 years time, it'll be 60 years and 6 months. So yeah. And now if month is bigger than 0, then years, oh, that's why we did let. We're going to subtract 1 from years. And then we're going to, this is why we're saying let. Then months will plus equal 12. I think this is purely because we need to test this actually. We will test this on my own account because I know what my own account is. But effectively we have years and months like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So now theoretically I can go back to my page and say I've been a member for this long. What I'm going to do here on the top level, I'm going to say account. If the account exists, we will post all this stuff. Otherwise, we will say p account not found. Account details not found. And that will be sad. And I'll probably have some other thing where I just don't show my Stack Overflow. I'll show like a button that links to it, and that will be it. Okay, but let's see if this works. Theoretically, because according to my Stack Overflow, I've been a member for 10 years and 6 months. But I should do pretty icons and stuff like that. Again, we'll get my wife to design that too. So, according to Stack Overflow, I've been a member for that long. This says I've been an active member of Stack Overflow. It didn't say. I didn't do anything. Oh, I forgot to actually, I don't need all these account question marks anymore either because we're doing a check higher up. So we didn't have to like conditionally render that, but I forgot to apply the function to it. So I called this get years and months. Bam. Okay. What does it say now? What do you mean? I think it's because I created the file that this is in like without restarting the dev service. So I'm just restarting the project quickly and that should get us sorted there. And geez, this music's a vibe. It's getting me in the zone. So what am I doing? Still busy running. The project's still running. I'll refresh here. I'll wait for this. Almost done. Reference area, it's not defined, but it should be. It's not defined. It is. They're right. It's not defined. Did it not import? Yeah, there. Oh. 1 sec. I forgot to export this. That's why it's not magically importing. Okay. Export it. There we go. Now we're importing it from utils. Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. So we got that going. And now it says 10 years and 7 months. Okay, so ours is rounding up. I don't really want it to round up. So could we make it so that the months don't round up? As much as that makes me sound really good, I'd rather like, you know, not do that. So this means we're gonna have to calculate the days as well in this, which will be interesting and fun to do. Don't mind doing that. Always jam. So what we have to do now, wait, I'm just thinking. Well, I'm reading actually. I'm reading what ChatGPT is saying. Is it just like, okay, so if, okay, right. If the current date is, oh, but the current date's always going to be less than the creation date. So we just have to say like -1 here onto this equation every time because it's always going to round it up. So this works nicely if you're saying like, if you're comparing a date in the future to now, and it's always going to, but because actually I'm going to put an if case in here. So let's say if current date is smaller than input date, then we have some magic in here, and we just want to month -1. There we go. That works. Sort of. Because now we do have 10 years and 6 months. Let's put that in a strong tag. Because let's just put all our API values in a strong tag. I've been an active member of Stack Overflow for 10 years and 6 months. Yeah, that seems good. And then this won't actually, it's not even like preserved for like language in English. Wait 1 sec, I need, but like obviously if it's 1 year, then it will be like, you know, let's just fix this here. But like if you were using a different language, like if I was to translate this, which I could do, I'd actually really like to do that later, is to actually have like a translation service running inside this. But yeah, effectively it's like if years is bigger than, well, if years equals 1, because even if it's like 0 years, I didn't count for no years. Okay. If years equals 0, if months equals 0, we say less than a month. What? Okay, that actually makes sense, the 1 month thing. So that's if years equals 0. And then we're going to say, here, I'll do this inside here. There's so many options though. There's so many like things, because you could say if the year is 1, then we say return 1 year, and if month, there's just so many little if statements in here. It's like, and this is kind of the only way to really do it. You're returning two separate pieces of data, but this works. Like, so yeah, if year equals month is okay. There we go. We actually have like all the cases in here. It doesn't give me any more. What do you mean if months equals 1? No, we already have that. Okay, cool. This is a great time to do unit testing. Honestly, I could show coverage and everything in this. I'm gonna do that. Look, I know this has been a bit all over the place, but this is a really good example to show off test coverage. Like we have started with API stuff, but we're gonna do some test coverage in here as well. So I don't currently have jest in here, right? No, there's no jest. So let's look up setting up jest. Jest. Cool. Getting started. Jest. We're just going to npm or install save jest. Should be all we need to do really. Jest is so simple. Like I think this would be an awesome like example of where you can show how testing works and with coverage, because I've got all these different branches here, like if this, if that, if that, you know, and we don't have test cases for those scenarios. And now we can actually like input test cases that will give us all the scenarios that happen, which I think is a good thing to do. So yeah, we've got jest installed. Fantastic. I'm not using NVM 16. I always, like every new terminal I open, it's not on 16 because of some other work stuff I have going on. So I always, that's why all these warnings are coming from. Like if you get these, you just see a change to use a different version of Node. Like you can see if I run it again, not that again, if I run the save jest thing again, then it will, yeah, you see, this is what I ran, and it's actually like worked now with 0 vulnerabilities. You can't see my whole screen, I'm sorry. I guess I could move it up, but it's like, I almost never use this bottom part of the screen. Cool. So, the things that I was going to say. I don't know what I was going to say. I really don't know. I wanted to write a function for this. So, get years and months from Unix dot, let's say .test.ts. You can sometimes, you can say .spec or you can say .test. I've written .test over here. And we are going to describe our function. I think this should work out of the box. I can't remember, or you never know. So it should return the correct year and month. Oh, I need to install the types. Yeah, because we're using TypeScript. TypeScript is not recognizing like describe and it and expect. So I copy pasted that and I wrote it down. Well, you can see it down over here. So that's working. Cool. So I would theoretically expect, in my case, I do have the years. The creation date. So I'm going to expect, I'm going to call the function. So I'm going to say, let me do it in a separate line. So I'm going to say const Unix equals that. And this should be 10 years and 6 months. That's what it is. And we're going to say const result. We're going to say get years and months from Unix. So now what I'm effectively expecting is I expect the result to be 10 years and 6 months. That's what we're doing here. So I am actually like spreading it out because I feel like that's easier. If you use suggest, you'll be able to read it without that, but this is essentially my way of showing it to you. It's like, here's our input. The result is the function computing the input, and now I expect the computed input, like I expect that computed result to be this exact value, which should theoretically and hopefully be right. So let's run npm. I guess I just run jest, right? Can I just run jest as it is? No, come on, fine. I have to write another thing in here. So I'm making a new package like script. This is gonna say test, and this should theoretically just run jest. So running jest. So I'm gonna say npm run test, which should run that jest command over there. And it's running down here. As you can see, I got a whole bunch of errors. One failed. I think it failed to run my code. So, because I haven't set this up properly. See, can I use import statements outside a module? That's where I think I need to do some more setup. And I should not just rely on, well, I need to rely on the docs. I need to see like, so you got the whole module exports, that stuff, blah, 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 blah. Scripts test, good to go, da, 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 da. Running from command line, you can do that stuff. Additional configuration. Eventually your project Jest will ask you a few questions. Okay, there we go. So we should actually write Jest in it. I'm going to say npx jest in it because I don't actually have Jest installed globally. So it's saying, would you like to use TypeScript for this configuration file? Yes. Choose the test environment that will be used for testing, Node or JS DOM. We're going to use Node. Do you want Jest to add coverage reports? Yes, I like coverage reports. Which provider should be used to instrument code for coverage? V8 or Babel? I don't actually know. Let's use V8. I usually use Babel, but let's try out V8. Automatically clear mock calls into the context and the result before every test. Yes. Let's automatically do that because it might save us problems later or cause us problems later. Either way, we'll have to figure out what we're doing with our lives. And now our config file has been created for Jest. Here we have this Jest config. It's all good. Super happy. Yeah, I want to use these coverage reporters. I might want to say text just to show like it there. Cool. So now theoretically we should be able, nope. Just failed to pass TypeScript config file. TS node is required for TypeScript configuration files. Oh my goodness. Make sure it's installed. Okay, so we're gonna npm install -- save dev ts node because that is required for our test environment. This is just me reading error messages and filling in the blanks. It's fun. It's great. The best joys in life are doing things like this. At least I have jelly beans. That makes everything slightly better. Sorry, one sec while I eat those. Cool. Let's try that again. I'm going to run npm run test. There it is. Down there. Sorry, I'm going to update my screen a little bit so you can see more of what I'm writing. There we go. Progress. We have a test report. It just failed. It looks like I didn't actually find my file. We try and use ECMAScript. There's always the pain is actually setting up Jest. So if I'm trying to use ECMAScript modules, which I am, I'm trying to use the import statements. That's what it's not liking. Let's see what it tells me. ECMAScript modules. Either you can disable code transforms by passing that transform. You execute node. Windows you can use cross. I'm not using Windows. I'm using a Mac. This is, you know what? It's not actually useful. I'm gonna copy this all and write it in ChatGPT because ChatGPT has got me going. Like, why is this not working? There we go. I just ask it that because this stuff is really getting to me actually. Area encoding is because JS setup doesn't currently support ES6 modules. Yep, that makes sense. I need to use Babel.js. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so what I need to do is down here is I need to npm install --save-dev at babel/preset-env. Obviously, if I didn't get the answer on, I'm going to copy paste this because I know exactly what it is. If I didn't get the answer from ChatGPT, you'd probably find it like on GitHub, on issues around Jest or around like Babel and stuff. You'll find a lot of the issues there, or on Stack Overflow. So that's why I want to specifically use that, because I'm quite active on Stack Overflow and GitHub. So it would be cool to do that. So with that done, we need to create a Babel RC file. So we're going to say .babelrc. I mean, it's still busy doing its thing, but we can preemptively start writing the rest of this. So this is going to have like a preset. Yeah, good. Copilot already knows what I want. That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, and then we need to set up Jest in our package JSON. I don't know if I can do that. Is there no transform section in here? F transform. Yeah, I can do my transform statement in here. So I'm going to say transform, and we're going to say Babel Jest. Suggesting TS Jest, but it's fine. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to run npm run test here now. See if it does the trick. It looks like it's running my test. Oh, it still failed. Can't find Babel preset React. Did this not get installed? Check my package locked. Oh, I didn't actually have that in there. Let's npm run. Not run, I'm npm installing, sorry, install, and we want to say --save dev because we don't need this in our main source, we just need it for running tests. This is the pain of testing, is telling people to set things up. Like, that's where the real struggle is actual like test setup. So for this setup, it should use Babel to transform your TypeScript files before running. Okay, let's test it now. npm run test. It's running. Oh, it's failed again. Okay, what's wrong now? Unexpected token. Why is it an unexpected token? Is that token a problem in here? No, that's correct. That's all correct. I think it's still not recognizing the TypeScript. Let's put that error into ChatGPT. I think it's because it's assuming I'm using JavaScript and not, it's like trying to read the TypeScript files, and I'm using TypeScript and it thinks I'm using JavaScript, so it's not working. Now I'm pasting this error. So let's give that a shot. See what it tells us. I'm sure it's going to be a TypeScript error. Babel is not recognizing the TypeScript syntax. This is likely because you missed including the Babel proposal class properties and Babel. Okay. Here's how you can update your setup. So I'm going to copy and install more plugins with Babel. And then the presets, well, it's actually not even presets. We're going to say in here we have to add another thing called plugins, the class properties, and we also need to add that's not what I wanted. Let me just copy paste this. Why is this not copying? Everything's out to get me today. I don't know why. It's all good. Okay. Copilot let me down today. This is one of those things. It's rare, but it happens. Copilot can let you down. The transform file, Babel Jest TSX. This is correct. And we do have TypeScript like as a dev dependency in our project. Well, I thought we did. I'm going to move it down there because it doesn't need to be in our main project. Let's just npm install to make sure that our package JSON is like in sync with everything. Cool, it is. Npm run test. This is our magical 69th times the charm kind of vibe. I think we've got it this. Oh, we don't have it. What is wrong now? Oh my goodness. Still. Really? I still get this error. Like, why? It's not recognizing the syntax, the unexpected comma. Is there even a comma in that? One sec. Let's see here. I don't think there's a comma in here. There isn't one. Okay, and in the test, there are commas, but that's expected. That's normal. They expected, oh, not unexpected token. They expected a comma, but instead it got that little thing. So it's not recognizing the TypeScript. Let's do that. Just I'm gonna actually go like ask the internet, because where's the TypeScript? Show me how to use it with TypeScript. We're using TypeScript. Okay, there's a via Babel. Okay, let's follow this guide directly, guys, and do something right for once. Okay, so npm install dash save the preset TypeScript. Are we doing that? Do we have preset TypeScript? We do have that. Okay, our Babel config JSON. Let's ditch the Babel RC. And we'll make a config, because we're going to follow the recommended way. Okay, no more RC things. We'll just go old-fashioned way and send it with a config like that. There's a TS jest. The source map support for jest. Let's use jest. I wonder if I should use TS jest. First, just what's TypeScript by Babel. You know what? Like, our preprocessors, this stuff. Anyways, let's stick to using Babel. This should work. And if it doesn't work, we're moving to TS jest. See what this does. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, yes. Progress. Okay. So our function is not working. Is it actually not working? Because I think I've been a member for 10 years, 6 months. It should be 10 years. Okay, so you see, this is where testing comes in handy, guys. We have one thing failing. We only have one test, but there are a lot of uncovered lines. Like, there's a lot of cases where we just have not covered that case. And I'm going to do this manually without ChatGPT. Let me close this. And the big focus now is going to be like these files right now. So we have the test files and we have the actual function being tested. Right now, if the year is more than 1, so if year, oh, the main problem is that should just be years. Like, that's the problem right there, because that's the edge case at the end that happens. So theoretically, if I run this again, the test will pass, but I'll still have a lot of uncovered lines. Yeah, I don't know why this is all working now. Let me just go back to the Babel stuff and delete the things we're not using. So that the test passed, fantastic. I'm going to go to my package JSON and just ditch the unused things. So we're not using these. Preset environment we are, preset React I think we are using, and preset TypeScript. Okay, cool. We have gotten rid of the useless things. So now, lines 11 to 13 are covered, 17 to 24, and 27 to 34. All those lines are not covered in my test. So let's go tackle those right now. Okay, so first of all, 11 to 13, that is these lines. So this case of where the current date is before the input date. Yeah, that's actually confusing. I don't know how to do it so I'm actually going to ask ChatGPT, because the problem is the Unix is what's getting me. Can you give me a test case to cover lines 11 to 13? This is where it's like, I know what I want to test. I want to have this case tested, but I'm too lazy to figure out what the best Unix is for that. And theoretically, I should be able to pass it a Unix where I can read the numbers and also see that the strings assigned to the numbers are correct. And that's the purpose of this. So, I should cover this edge case. So it should cover the months are less than 0. Oh, sheesh. Yeah. Well, yeah, let's just say 1 year and 1 month. Because that's kind of a weird edge case, I guess. I think. Oh, the way they do it is they actually go and build the Unix timestamps out of a more readable date. Like, ooh, we need to mock our dates. We need to mock the dates, because these tests, because they're date-based, they will fail tomorrow or next week or next month. So we do need to mock the date. I need to ask about that. But let's cover all the test cases and then we'll go mock the date. So let's npm run test. The stream's kind of changed into like writing tests. So that Unix is wrong. Why did it give me this Unix? Oh, look. Please follow this format. And then give me the test cases for all the uncovered lines. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to just give me everything. And then I'm going to explain why it makes sense. Problem is I can't naturally read Unix. That's a thing. Like, I can't read Unix. I don't know if you guys can. If you can, that's quite impressive. But I can't. So let's cover a bunch of cases. It should return less than a month for timestamps less than a month apart. There we go. That would make sense. Cool. Now let's assume that I've been given a timestamp less than a month apart. Const Unix equals math.floor This is so bad. Oh, it actually calculates the date based off of now. So it will look at the current date in the test. So we don't even need, like, what we can do is we can say a date, 15 days ago. Let me ask it to do that too. Then we don't even have to mock the date, which is kind of worse, but it's fine. Doesn't really matter. Sorry, I need to cough again, drink some water. So I don't know what's more efficient actually, is if we mock the date or we just calculate the new Unix from now's date. But we can say like how long ago. I've been an active member on Stack Overflow for 10 years and 6 months. That's not up to date. It should say 10 years, not 10 year, but it's all good. kind of burning out here. So I kind of want ChatGPT to do the same for that other result. Well, let's do a test first. So what we can say is const result. And we expect this result to be less than a month because that was 15 days ago. So let's run the test. And theoretically, the test should pass. The test does pass, and we've got more line coverage now than we did before. So that's good. Let's add another test case. It should return X months for timestamps, several, oh my goodness, sorry. For timestamps that are several months apart within, is it the same year? Yeah, within the same year. So what we're doing now is we're covering a case for when these are in the same year. And you see the point of like testing is like how we found out earlier. It's like you can find bugs a lot easier this way. Suddenly you realize like, oh, there's so much more I could do to my code. So I'm going to say, this is to get 3 months and 15 days ago. Let's do that. I'm copying that. That Unix is 3 months, 15 days ago. And we expect this result to be 3 months. Let's again run the test. And what we can actually do, I'm going to do that now, is we can start running tests and say -- watch. And this should keep watching our test. So if we change the test, the -- watch is not happening. I might have to say like a special test watch. I thought that would work. -- watch. Let's see. So let's run npm run test watch. It should be good. I think if I used yarn, that would have worked. But this essentially keeps watching the tests, and we can like press different buttons down here to automatically like keep, you know, searching for more stuff. So now if I update this to 3 months or 3 month and I save, it reruns the test automatically. So I don't have to keep running the tests, and it shows me which test failed and focuses on that. So I fix the test and it's passing. Add another test. It should return all these test cases. It should return let me do the thing. 1 year for timestamps. Well, 12 months apart or 1 year apart, I guess. Like, let's just say a year apart. So let's see what this gives us. Okay, this actually gets quite tedious. Just realized like this is probably really boring to watch me just build test cases. So 1 year, about a year apart. We're gonna copy this all in. I don't know, it's like you guys get the drill basically. So now we're running a test again, covering more lines. Now it should return 1 year and 1 month apart for those timestamps. I've got the results here. And again, this is why I find ChatGPT useful for unit testing, because you know what you want to do, but it can just be really tedious to type it all out. And this will make it like a lot faster. It's a good way of using AI because it's unit tests, focused, all that stuff. So again, we've covered a lot more lines. We haven't covered every case. There's still a lot of uncovered lines. Okay, here's where we have a problem. We have a 4 years and we expected 4 years, but we got 3 years and 11 months. So I should return X years for timestamps several years apart. This was 4 years, 15 days ago. See, that's just wrong. I've got this horrible case here. I get this, but that's wrong. I need to update my function. I have a function. So we found an edge case already, like the 4 years case, or multiple years and like 11 months. Because we're doing this thing over here, it's not really working properly. I just want to check, like if I keep it as it is, so that wasn't working. If I comment this part out, it probably will work. No, it doesn't. 1 year and 1 month. All these cases. Oh my goodness. Less than a month, 1 month. What is going on? So that last case was 4 years and 15 days ago. So that should just be 4 years because like, it's this ago thing. I'm going to call this ago. So I've changed the function to just calculating days ago, or not days, ago cases. So it should just be ago cases because geez, I don't have time to like freaking figure all this stuff out. I was like, just like, oh, let's just write a simple unit test for my date function. Now it's got all these edge cases. No, now ChatGPT is not even helping me out anymore. It's hard to bugger off. I want my function updated. Cater for that. See, I've got all these like, oh, I get years and months from you, like. But let's not say from Unix, we'll say since Unix. So that the input day was like really like ago, you know. So I'm renaming all these functions to since instead of from, because I think since makes more sense. That's funny. Since Unix, there we go, and then we have all these since Unix things. I get years and months also since Unix. There we go. Fantastic. Sorry. Okay. So I understand. See, I think this is my problem. Is like I used Copilot, and Copilot actually gave me all these results, and it actually wasn't correct. Okay, so we have a scenario now to handle day of the month, where the day of the month is like in there. So I'm going to copy this, put it in here, and now we have this additional condition to handle the day of the month. And this will tell us like special cases. It's going to break our tests, obviously. Well, no, it won't break. It might break our tests. Fix all the imports properly. So only one of them fails. It's still that last one. That's 3 years. We expect 4 years, but we get 3 years and 11 months. What is that Unix? Let me, like, maybe this Unix is wrong. I'm going to put this in here. And let's actually ask if the Unix is correct. This is so frustrating, actually. So I've copied that. I'm going to copy this. Why is this not working? Like, come on, it's letting me down. It's genuinely letting me down. You want the function to round up to 4 years? I don't really want it to round up to 4 years. That's not correct. 4 years and 15 days. This is so annoying. Days of month current. So I'm so confused. Okay, let's see if this edge case is resolved. And this is why we do testing, to find all these horrible edge cases. Oh, now everything's broken. Oh, sorry, it's because the name of this is wrong. Now only one of them works. Oh my goodness, this is so stupid. It's such an annoying rounding issue, you know? Like, everything's wrong by like a month. So this day of month current is larger than, okay, that's day of month. I feel like literally if I just like -1 here at the start, everything would work, which is a bit annoying. No, it doesn't work because there's still that case there. But that's the annoying part, is like it's always rounding up. Oh, I'm gonna go crazy, guys. I'm gonna go crazy. Not my finest moment right now. Okay, let's show ChatGPT that it's still wrong. This is one of those fight with the AI until you get it right things. Again, this is really not my finest moment. It sucks to be stuck on little things like this, but that's the thing, is like it's an easy thing to get right, but it's a more difficult thing to get working properly, and I do want to get this to work properly. So now we'll see the more selectively things. It's so crazy though, like I've gotten away from like learning, and now it's just like I'm just gonna like hack away until this works. So let's see if this new formula works. The same thing. Like they all work except for this one like stupid case. I'm like really starting to hate this. So it's still not rounding the years correctly. And we're covering those extra little cases, like where we do calculate. See, date calculations are a lot more tough than you'd expect. I always do interview questions and think, oh, everything's going so well, but it's like, it really isn't. Like, there are more complicated things at play here. And that's what you gotta be careful about. Okay, so now we actually have got all of these working. We just need to cover line 29. According to my test case here. Line 29 is this case where years are 0, but months are not. I think. But now, because there's so many if cases here, I can't even identify how to get there. So now I'm actually going to ask ChatGPT again. How do I cover line 29 in the tests? Oh, good old testing, eh? Can you create a test case where the current date is more than 3 years and 11 months, but less than 4 years from the input date? So that's the special case that we were looking at now. So it should run up to the nearest year if the remaining days are less than half a month. Okay, cool. That would make sense. Sorry, I got the wrong thing in here. And I'm going to need to also change the date conversion. Come on. Why would this... ChatGPT sucks sometimes. It doesn't understand dates. It's like, just like it doesn't know how to play chess, it just doesn't get dates. It's like not the best at the stuff. It used to be... Well, I was going to say it used to be worse. But this is pretty bad. Like if it gives me a result and it still fails. What do you mean? I don't think the calculations are correct. Like I think there's some big number stuff going on here. So current date dot get date input date. I am so confused. So we have this if months smaller than or equal to 0. We need to have an else if in here as well. Else if day of the month. We just found another edge case. Well, not equal, it's got to be bigger than. Then we gotta say months plus equal 1. Because that's actually what's happening. And then we can say if months smaller than 11 years. Oh my goodness, I'm never gonna get to this edge case. It still fails? No, now just everything fails. Oh, come on. I hate this. I just want to like flip it up and be like, I'm done with this. I want to try something else, you know? I've really complicated this. Like, I think I should just go back to making it easy. I'm gonna start a new thing and just say like give me a function, like write me a function that takes in a Unix time from the past and returns X years ago, or X years and Y months ago. Also handle zeros and singular cases, please. I'm going to ask please to ChatGPT and then it will know. Like, that's the strategy here. I'm starting over. I've given up. We're moving on, you know? Sometimes relationships just, they're not meant to last. And you just got to like start from scratch, reintroduce yourselves, and things will thrive from there on. Okay. I made one mistake. It's giving me a Python result. So I found a French girl, and that's not what I wanted. Just give me a TypeScript answer. Okay. So so bad though. Like it's gotten easier, it's gotten simpler now. But I want to match like things stuff. Like this just now should be less than a month ago. And I don't need the ago statements. Unless maybe, yeah, no, I actually just don't need them. If I was going to use them, I'll go put them in, like, but right now I don't need them. So I've got that. I don't even need the else really. I can just return that remaining else is all of these. You don't need else ifs if you've got return statements in your function. Like, they actually just make things like harder to read. Sorry, I just realized there's gonna be a lot of rain tomorrow, so I need to figure out what I'm doing with my gardening stuff. Cool. Oh, I hate this. This is such a hard answer. So this is going to say get years and months since Unix. That's it. Cool. My Unix time. Give me a test suite for this. There we go. I'm being lazy. I was going to be all nice and chilled, but I picked a really bad example to show off the joys of unit testing. And even that's so funny. Like I asked ChatGPT to give me the test suite for that, and it actually showed me how to configure it properly as well, which is great. Like using TSJS and all that stuff, which is probably better than using Babel anyway. But alas. So it's giving me a nice test suite where it's actually like not even, I don't know, I want to say like worrying about things. Okay, the tests all passed. I haven't covered lines 9 to 11. Please cover lines 9 to 11. 911. 9 to 11 are these lines. So it's not covering this case where months are less than 0. But there might be some additional cases later on that we do need to cover. So add another test case. We can actually call them it. Like you can call it test or it. So I'm going to call it it because that's just like what I prefer doing. Goodness, line coverage, man. Lines 9 to 11 are still not covered. This is how it goes for me. Like I just really struggle with this stuff. Like these are the same. So it's actually just like screwing with me now. So if I copy paste this, it's actually like almost exactly the same. Yeah, that's not gonna work. You know what? Let's just be happy with that. Let's be somewhat happy with that. This will do. Does my function still work? I haven't even checked. I'm like disappointing myself heavily. This is like why coding for 2 hours straight just doesn't work. Usually I code, I get something done, I walk around, get a break, come back, I'm fresh. And now I can't do that. Like, I mean, maybe if I was answering questions in between, this would be a better format to use, but right now it's just not working for me. I wanted to check out Bun, but Bun, the benefits of using Bun with like a full framework right now, just they're not there. Like I know Bun 1.0 is out, but it's just like, it's just not there right now. Oh my goodness. Now it's not liking my Babel stuff. Okay, let's get rid of Babel. I really screwed things up actually. Let's get rid of Babel and use what are the Babel presets and all that stuff. How long has this been here? All the stuff's been here from like recently. I'm getting rid of Babel stuff. Babel jest as well, right? So I need to do npm install jest, ts jest, and types jest. So I still need that. I don't need Babel jest. Like I'm done with Babel. Doesn't like me. We're using ts jest instead. We have a jest config, and in here we'll have a preset. Preset in here is going to be ts jest and the test environment. That's probably my problem. Test environments should be just node. Let's run the test on the side, npm run test. Oh my goodness. I'm going nuts, guys. I did get rid of my Babel stuff, yeah. Cool, that's sorted. Test environment. This transform I need to get rid of. Undefined. And we'll just, we don't need to transform Babel things anymore. That's the problem. That's a big problem. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. It's running. It's running. It's good. I think it's good. Yes. Okay, cool. It works. I'm going to try this one more time. I'm going to say I have this file. According to my test coverage report, this is where coverage can shoot you in the foot. Lines 9 to 11 are not covered. Let's say 9 to 11, not covered in my tests. And then I'm going to show my tests. But the number of months are negative. Why would the number of months be oh, there could be a number of months being negative. Okay. Look, theoretically, adding this. And the current date month. Okay. But that's already in my case. I'm confused. I don't understand why this happens. Like a month. Okay, with progress, it actually has covered more. That's good. Now it's line 14 that's not covered. So yeah, what the problem is here is either this case isn't happening ever, or there's a lot of little like dodgy if cases in here. But yeah, now line 14 doesn't have full coverage. There we go. But those branch lines are done. So now it's literally just like a portion of line 14 is not covered. So we're going to make a new test case saying it should correctly return a string for a date that is exactly some years ago. See, it's one of those like just step back, refresh, restart, where you can like get things done. Okay. I feel a bit disappointed in getting so stuck there. We didn't hit that case properly. Right, understood your previous question. Okay, we need to get the example where it's not equal to 0. Okay, let's see. I'm going to keep the other case in just to make sure that we get full coverage and then remove this case. So this is the case we want to remove. I should actually set up test watch because right now we're not watching and I'm wasting time by saving and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna say I still haven't covered every case. Line 14. this is like the journey to full test coverage can really be a pain. And it's not actually worth your time, to be completely honest. But I'm doing it now because I'm feeling very OCD. I think this could be this is the perfect thing for me to say in a weakness in an interview. Like, yeah, I would often work overtime to be such a perfectionist when, like, for example, test coverage, that's like my bane. Like, I always just want to have things done like perfectly, and obviously that's not possible. You know, you got to be pragmatic. That's a good thing to say. What's your biggest weakness? Say like, I'm so focused on like getting everything, like perfectionism. That's a weakness sometimes. And you know, there's ways to measure that, and you can take your time on that. Yeah, let me get the watch case here. I'm gonna tell ChatGPT now. It's like, you have told me to add all these test cases, but my coverage still is not complete for this line. There are so many cases though. There are like 3 different cases, so theoretically I should be good. We need to cater for the case where months is equal to 1, and cover a case where months is more than 1. So I'm gonna make like a little to-do line here, just to say like, you know, these are the end to do. These are potentially not useful, because you don't want to have like tests in your case that actually like aren't useful, because tests do take time to run. Even this one test is taking like 5 seconds to run. I wonder if we could use bun with jest. That would be cool. Because that's my biggest issue, is the tests take long. Okay, we've covered all the cases here, so let's check if these to-dos. That was the thing. It's like I just went to ChatGPT and gave it more information. If I save this, do we still have missing test cases? Or did it just, yeah, all those cases that gave me recently were like wrong. So sometimes you just have to tell ChatGPT, I've tried these things that you've already told me, try something else. That's cool. Well, we have testing implemented somewhat in our app. Why? I don't like songs that have a whistle in them, like an actual like whistle instrument, you know, like, and things are getting quite jazzy, and it's just not my vibe. This is supposed to be like, you know, super chilled. What the heck is melodic trap music? I don't even like hip hop. Let's do like orchestral. How insane would that be? I just realized like the playlist I picked is like way too big. That's nice. Nice little chill vibes. Anyways, where was I? You know what? I really should add this project to like Git. So let's commit checkpoints on code. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it a checkpoint, and then we need to make like a repo for this. So let's go to GitHub, because otherwise people can't follow along. Let's make a new repo. I'm just gonna call it portfolio. Should I? Just thinking my GitHub pages, if I could do things to it. Portfolio site developed using NextJS. Cool. Public, we'll make that public. I should like link to my YouTube channel and say like this has been part of the building. I could link to each individual video inside this repo. That would be fun. But yeah, we'll do that later. Anyways, what I can do, because Git's already set up in this project, is you just copy these like values in, so it's easy to do. We can make our branch. Let's make the branch. We'll keep the branch to be main, because that seems to be more common these days. Less words is more these days. And then we'll git push origin main. There we go. And theoretically, that means if I refresh this page, yeah, all my code is there and good to go. So we did stuff 2 days ago. We're doing stuff a minute ago. Progress. Proud of myself. Okay, let's npm run dev. How long have we been going for? Almost 2 hours. Yeah, that's the thing. I want to try to keep these streams not much longer than 2 hours because I do burn out. But let's go right back to the point of checking if our code actually works. Okay, so nothing works anymore. Oh, it's still compiling. That's what I want to check out. We'll check it out now when I'm done. Just double checking that everything's working. Okay, so first problem. This is called since Unix now. And yeah. Well, we're not actually using it. There we go. This 10 years and 7 months thing is really getting me, because annoyingly, if I go to Stack Overflow, it says 10 years and 6 months. Not that anyone's going to notice, but that's worth raising an issue for. That would be a fun thing, like to make this an open project, to say like, hey, like, you know, give me some cases. Because right now test suite's not very impressive. But like, I could collectively get people to work on this. I'm not going to do it now because there's like no point. I think later on I want to make this more of a, everyone can use this template for their own resume thing, and I could just be like, cool, I built the thing. But yeah, you know, it's like, what would be nice is if people stole my repo. Let's go back to that. Where's my GitHub repo? GitHub. My repo that I just made. I called it portfolio, right? There we go. This is just for fun, really. So yeah, we've got the normal README there. I'm gonna get rid of that. Yeah, it's a fun project, but everyone saw my project when you get a chance. So I'm gonna put it. I'll put it into the description of the live streams moving forward. What was I going to say? I like the fact that we do have a project where we can like demonstrate and use for like, I don't know, test grounds. I might even use it for like my videos, like sandbox environments for showing off cases, documenting code and things like that. That'll be cool. We'll slowly but surely build up this site. So, before I go, I wanted to look at, what the heck is this? Snipe. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what Snipe is. I want to look at Bun. And I want to see if it's got Jest support. Testing. See the Bun test documentation. Bun ships with a fast built-in test runner. Tests are executed with the Bun runtime and support the following features: TypeScript and JSX, lifecycle hooks, snapshot testing, UI and DOM testing, watch mode, Script preloading with preload. Tests are written in JavaScript to TypeScript with the jest-like API. Refer to writing tests for full documentation. So we could use bun test. And this should theoretically be quicker. That would be sick if we could do that. Start replacing my files with like bun test and stuff like that. That would be awesome. You have test timeout flags, use rerun, because bun is just so much quicker, and that would be amazing if like this is actually quicker than stuff like jest and everything. It just seems really quick. Bun supports the following lifecycle hooks before all, so it is just like jest. Set up TS file. See, bun's nice. They didn't abandon TypeScript like everyone else did, and it makes a bit of a difference. Snapshots are supported by bun test. Test/snapshots for the documentation. UI and DOM testing, buns compatible, Poppy UI testing, Happy DOM testing, React testing library. Yes, bun works with React testing library. That is great. Bun test run is fast. That is nice. How do I set it up though? Do I just run bun test? What if I replaced my package here? If I just wrote bun test. And the flags for watch, I could just say -- watch, right? Yeah. Will this work? Bun's not found. Okay, let me npm install -- save dev bun. Will that work? It's doing things. It's added bun 1.0.0. Okay, cool. Interesting. And if we run it now, let's just see, because setting up jest is a bit of a pain. Not that it should be, but let's npm run test now. It works. And that was really quick. Wow. Okay, so what if we make one of my tests fail? What does the failures look like? Is it still like work less than a monthly? Let's say less than a monthly. Let's rerun the test. One failed. Okay, so one failed, expected, received. This is amazing. It's so quick. And it just works as well. That's amazing, because look, if I run npx run jest, let's do that. It takes so long. Oh, sorry, I need to I need to install some packages, so I'll rerun it. Well, that's a bit annoying. So even, okay, wait. Test bun, and then we'll have just test. Jest test. Look at this. This is insane. So we're going to run test. Should be quite slow. And on the side here, we're going to run test bun. Still running, still running, still running, still running, still running, still running. Failed. Okay, that is expected. Bun test. Done. Oh my goodness, this is a game changer. And it works with React testing library. This is crazy. I'm gonna be like the most popular guy at work on Monday. Well, that's amazing. I'm going to use bun. And we don't even need jest anymore. We can get completely rid of jest, right? So if we use bun, let me just test watch with bun. I just want to see that this works. That's cool. And we say, oh goodness, this is fast. I'm gonna set this up at work tomorrow. Like, this is amazing. Let me get rid of jest and ts jest, and I don't need a jest config anymore either. And if I npm install, well, wait, I can just bun install, right? Bun install. How do I install bun? I'm going to use this. I'm literally like, wait, what is bun? Installation. As a Mac and Linux user, I can curl. Let me just open up the terminal. I'm running that command that I saw there. This is amazing. Now I'm hyped up. We're not ending the stream. We're keeping on going. I think. Okay, that worked. So theoretically, I should be able to write bun -- help. Execute that. And then we can run bun help. Yes, okay, cool. So theoretically, I might need to make a new thing, but bun install. If I close these and then open these again. That's my first install. This is crazy. Whoa, that was quick. If I delete my node modules, again, I'm not like, and now I just do bun install. Oh my goodness, guys, this is life-changing. Okay, I've got rid of chest. It's I can just write bun test. Bun run dev. NVM use 16. Sorry, I need to use that. Jeez. Okay, well, no, that's still slow, but I mean, this works. Like, I don't need to use npm. I have a bun lock b. Okay. This is amazing. I'm so impressed. Like, the setup was easy. Everything just worked. Like, that's crazy. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. What is... Okay, well, cool. I just want to test if my project is running as well. Make sure it actually works. I mean, what happens now under the hood, bun runs itself onto that, like, yeah, that works. Okay, awesome. So impressive though. I just want to check if do I have any jest stuff. Package lock. If I get rid of my package lock now, I don't use it actually. I don't need it. I just use bun for everything now. This is amazing. I can't believe how quick that was. So again, if I bun install, it just updates my bun lock file. Checked across, no changes. It's so quick. It's like I'm gonna git add and say implemented bun. This is crazy. Like, I can't believe how quick that was. Like, literally running bun test watch. It's so quick. It's amazing. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed by bun. Like, I can't believe how quick it is. Jeez. I'm so happy. Like, honestly, like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, what a way to end end off like a stream. I'm gonna go now because it's been more than 2 hours and this does get tiring over time. I want to work on some other personal projects. Yeah, so this is under my name at Barry Michael Doyle on GitHub portfolio, so you can go check it out there. If anyone wants to try and fix this get years bug, I'm gonna say to figure out how Stack Overflow calculates it, because our function seems to round up. The problem is like there's many things happening here. It's like it's calculating, you know, it's got to handle all those cases for like months and days and blah 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 blah. I was kind of just hoping there'd be like a library for it, which that's probably what Stack Overflow is using. It's kind of hoping I just get suggested like go use data FNs or something. But it's fine. We have tests for it now, and we have Bun running the test, so it's so much quicker. Like honestly, I feel like I'm gonna go do my normal job stuff right now and just play with Bun. It's crazy. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be me. I'll see you for the next stream. I don't know when I'll be. Potentially even tomorrow night because we're still sick and not going out. But we'll see.